Good morning, class. In the previous lecture, we studied about force, okay, the definition of force and various kinds of forces. There we studied that force is a physical quantity which changes or tends to change the state of a body, state of rest or of motion, right? So, in this part of the chapter, we'll be studying Newton's first law of motion. Let us see how force is important. Various examples they have given you here, that whenever you are riding a bicycle, what do? We apply force on the pedals, right, in order to move it. Or in case of a horse cart, the horses apply force on the cart. Similarly, when you drive a car, what happens? You have to start the engine, and like that. There are various other examples. So earlier it was supposed that in order to continue to be in motion, okay, that means when we have started something, let us take the example of cycle itself. So in order to keep moving, we need to apply force continuously. Okay, this was supposed earlier. Okay, so up till Galileo. So we'll come to Galileo later. First, we understand what was supposed earlier. So it was supposed that in order to keep moving, we need to apply force continuously. Okay, for example, if we want to keep moving on a bicycle, you need to apply the force continuously, and as soon as you stop applying the force, the bicycle will stop. This was supposed earlier. Later on, Galileo improved it, and he said that if we are riding a bicycle, then initially if we pedal it and the bicycle has started moving, then initially in order to move it, we need to give it some force, but then it will keep moving unless we apply another force to stop it. Okay, this is what Galileo said. Okay, you can just read it from here. So Galileo did not approve with the above view. From his experiments, he found that no force is needed to continue the motion of a moving body. Okay, that means for the continuation of the motion, we don't want any force. We don't want to apply any force, but to initiate the motion, we wanted some force, right? So no force is needed to continue the motion of a moving body. If a body is set in motion, it will remain in motion even when the force applied to set the body in motion is withdrawn. Okay, provided that there is no other force such as friction to oppose the motion. So he said that in order to keep moving, we don't want any force. For the continuation of the motion, we don't want any force, but we want the force now to stop it. Are you able to understand this? See, initially you pedal the bicycle. This you have observed this. See, if you pedal the bicycle and then suddenly you remove your feet from the pedal, what will happen? Your bicycle will still keep moving. No, it won't stop suddenly. That means in order to move, in order to stay in motion, it did not need any force. But now the bicycle will stop. Either you apply brake on it, or it will stop when the frictional force of the earth will be able to stop it, right? So this is what Galileo told, that for the continuation of the force we don't want for the continuation of the motion we don't want any force. In order to initiate the motion, we wanted this force, and later on to stop it we want some force. Okay, so here again they have given another example. From our everyday life experience, we know that when a ball is kicked, it moves a certain distance before coming to rest, right? In fact, it stops due to the force of friction between the ball and the ground. Okay, so the ball which was moving, you just kicked it. Okay, you did not continue, kept on applying the force on the ball. No, you just kicked it, and then the ball stopped because of the force of friction between the ground and the ball. So there are a number of examples. You can just read this paragraph once. Then, so this was the thing that Galileo emphasized, that in order to stop it now we need another force on it. Okay, so in other words, an object, if once set in motion, moves with uniform velocity if no force acts on it. Okay, so if once you have given force to a body, it will keep on moving with a uniform velocity. Okay, this may happen that in order to increase the velocity, you may need to apply force during the motion, but in order to keep it moving with the same velocity, you don't need to apply force. Okay, you just have to initiate the motion. Okay, and the body will continue to be in motion unless it is applied with another force. Thus, if a body continues to be in the state of rest or in the state of uniform motion unless an external force is applied on it, this is called the Galileo's law of inertia. So this thing, that what Galileo said, that in order to that a body will keep to be in the state of rest or in motion, uniform motion, unless an external force is applied on it. This was called Galileo's law of inertia. Okay, so from the above discussion, what have we observed? See, two things are observed. If a body is at rest, it remains at rest unless a force is applied on it. This you already know. You have observed it, that if a body is at rest, it will remain at rest unless a force is applied on it. Second, if a body is moving, it will continue to move with the same speed in the same direction unless a force is applied on it. Right? So if it is moving, right, if a body is already moving, so it will keep on moving with a uniform velocity if no force is applied on it. In order to change the speed or in order to change the direction, we will have to apply force on it, or in order to stop it also we need some force to be applied on it. Okay, so Newton observed these things and he compiled it in the form of a statement, and this law was later on known as Newton's first law. And what does the statement say? The first law of motion, it says that if a body is in a state of rest, it will remain in the state of rest, and if it is in the state of motion, it will remain moving in the same direction with the same speed unless an external force is applied on it. Okay, so if a body is at rest somewhere, and you have to or you say it like this, that if a body is rest, in order to move it, we need to apply some force. So Newton's law says that it will always be at rest unless a force is applied on it. Okay, if a body is at rest, it will stay at rest unless a force is applied on it. Another thing what he says, that if a body is in motion, it will continue to be in motion with the same velocity, same direction. I told you now, in order to change the velocity or change the direction, we need some force. So the statement says it will continue to be in motion with the same velocity and same direction unless an external force is applied to it. Okay, so this is Newton's first law of motion. This is a statement you need to learn. Okay, then in order to discuss this further, don't start panicking at this stage only. There is a lot more to discuss on it, so just have patience, just understand what is being told till now, and now we'll discuss furthermore. So in order to discuss this, we have to understand two things. First, inertia. Okay, earlier this statement was known as Galileo's law of inertia. Okay, so we need to understand what is inertia, and another thing is we need to understand what is force. Okay, so what are we saying from the beginning of this video? That when a body is in a state of rest, it will continue to be in the state of rest unless it is applied by a force, right? This you know. If you I have kept this book over here, unless I apply any force on it, it won't move. No, it is not that I keep this book and go. In the next suppose 1 or 2 hours, when I come back, it will be moved from here to somewhere else. No, na, because I have not applied any force on this. And this is true for any body. Similarly, if a body is in motion, it will continue to be in motion unless any force is applied on it. Okay, and the motion will be uniform. That means same speed and same direction unless any force is applied on it. So this property of anything, any object, due to which this is happening, due to which it stays in the state of rest or it stays in the state of uniform motion unless a force is applied on it, is known as inertia, right? So the property of an object by virtue of which it tends to retain its state of rest or of motion is called inertia. That means every body wants to continue to be in its initial state unless it is applied by some force. Okay, so this property that it wants to be in its state of rest or of motion. Okay, a body wants to be in the state of rest or of motion. This property is known as inertia, and it is the inherent property of each object. What does inherent property means? Inherent property means it is the basic property, basic characteristic of any object, right? Then comes the definition of force. So definition of force is the same which we have studied earlier, that it is that physical quantity that causes or which tends to change, that changes or tends to change the state of rest or of motion of an object. Okay, so that is force. So these are the two important things, and these two things are linked together in the case of Newton's first law of motion. Okay, right? Now, to understand inertia a little bit more, we have to understand some more things, like, see what I said, that if a body is in a state of rest, it will continue to be in a state of rest, or it will tend to retain its state of rest. According to the definition of inertia, it will try to retain its state of rest. Okay, that means it will want to stay in that state of rest. Okay, so for that example, we can see that if there is a very heavy vehicle, so you can take this example. If there is a loaded trolley, it will be difficult to move it. Okay, and a lighter one, that is the unloaded one, will be easier to move. That is because the loaded trolley is having, so this is just an observation. Okay, I just want you to observe these things, that the loaded trolley will be difficult to be moved and unloaded trolley will be easier to move. Similarly, a loaded trolley is difficult to be stopped and a unloaded one is easier to be stopped. In the same way, a cricket ball, which is heavier than a tennis ball, cricket ball acquires smaller velocity than a tennis ball. Okay, when you push a cricket ball into tennis ball, the cricket ball will require smaller with the same if you apply same force on a cricket ball and a tennis ball, what will happen? the cricket ball will obtain a less velocity than the tennis ball. Why? Because the cricket ball is heavier and the tennis ball is lighter. So what we can say, the observation says that if the body is heavier, it will have a greater tendency to stay in the state of rest, and the lighter body will have a lesser tendency to stay in the state of rest. That means inertia depends on mass of the body. Okay, the property of inertia is because of the mass of the body. The greater the mass, the greater is the inertia of the body. Means the greater the mass, the greater it will having the tendency to retain in its state of rest or of motion. Okay, so that is what these two examples were telling. When you apply some force on a cricket ball, it will obtain less velocity, while the same force on a tennis ball will give it a greater velocity, right? And same will be happen in case to stop both of them, right? A cricket ball, if you want to stop it, it needs more force than a tennis ball. Same is the case with the loaded and unloaded trolley. That means that what did we want to observe from these examples, that the property of inertia is because of the mass of the body. This is an important point. You can underline these things. And the greater the mass, the greater is the inertia of a body.